Welcome to Global Take, presented by SchoolRubric, a show about the international teaching experience. Teaching internationally is one of the best decisions you can make as an educator. In this show, we will meet teachers and administrators from around the globe living and working internationally. Our hope is that their stories and experiences will inspire you to explore the world of education. We will learn about all aspects of international teaching, from becoming an international teacher to what countries are the best fit for you, to the challenges of being away from your home country. Come take this unforgettable journey to the world of international schools with Global Take, presented by SchoolRubric.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Global Take here on SchoolRubric. My name is Nick DeForest, and this is again a special edition. This is part 2 in a 6-part series that's going to focus on my new book, The Global Playbook, right here, how every international school can raise its game. If you missed part 1, it was with Dave Horner and about the first section of the book. And I'll be joined again today by, let's say, the main contributor to section 2, and that's commitment. The book itself is organized around 6 C's. There they are. After this episode, we'll come back to you with a care, culture, competition, and then an episode on communication. So we'll go through them all, highlighting some key points, hot topics, I guess, in each section, and giving you a little bit of background about the book, but also let you meet some of the other people that were a part of it, because it really was a big community and collaborative effort. So today I want to welcome in, and we'll add him in right now, is Chris Mott. Chris, thanks for being with us today.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Yeah, great. I'm great. I'm down here in my basement where I do a lot of this work, but you're not at your house, Chris. Where are you today?
No, we're on holidays this week, so I'm down in Phuket, just getting some sun. So I look a little bit red. Yeah, maybe didn't use as much sunscreen as I should have. But yeah, it's getting some sun.
Perfect. Great. Enjoying a little bit of a break after, an intense fall season, I think, for all of us in the international world, back to travel and tournaments and all these great things, right?
Yeah. We had last week we hosted season 1 IASIS. We had volleyball and cross country at ISB, and it was just amazing to have kind of the energy in there, and the crowds and the parents and the athletes, and just kind of everything back to the way we all remembered. And 4 days before that, Thailand got rid of the masks inside and everything, so it was kind of the first kind of big event that we had to have everybody back to normal. It was great.
Awesome. That's great. I hope that's similar, playing out in similar fashion all around the world. Well, yeah, we're here. Commitment, a big part of any program, of anything. You have to have people committed to the program. The book talks about different groups, like coaches and students and parents, things like that. We'll touch on a few of the subsections. But you wrote the submission for the introduction. So I want to ask you something about your submission now. And you quoted Wayne Goldsmith, and part of it was you're saying that the defining quality for anyone striving to be the best is commitment, right? And I want to ask how important is it for an athletic program to have commitment from the entire school community?
Yeah, thanks to Wayne. Wayne's a great contributor to kind of the podcast and just different bits and pieces that I listen to. Mm-hmm. He's focused on swimming, but his message is a good one, and it's your commitment to the kind of the whole over program, or the whole program that you're offering is really centered around how committed you are, or the community is, to what you're trying to do. So, commitment, I would say, inarguably, and is probably the most important piece, and that might be commitment to coaches are delivering their passion or, their knowledge or their skills from the kids or the experience, making sure that you give the absolute most you can possibly give at every single instance. And that's parents, that's coaches, that's kids. It's kind of everybody all linked together. That's the kind of message that he gives, and that I feel very strongly about as well.
That's great. It really does depend on all sorts of things, right? If you have a really committed coaching staff, but maybe your board or admin aren't committed at all, and they can't give the coaching staff the resources they need, it's not going to function, right?
Yeah, it's like, I could walk in as an athletic director or as a coach and say, I'm going to be super committed. I'm going to be well prepared. I'm going to have all my lessons done, all my trainings done, and I walk out and there's no equipment. But why is there no equipment? Well, maybe in my school, maybe the B&G aren't as committed as I am at that particular moment, or maybe there's a drainage problem with the water, and we've just had a massive rain, and the board's not prioritized the drainage of that field. Maybe there's so many different subsections of what that commitment looks like. And I think in really great schools around the world, you often find, it's not just coaches and athletic directors and administration. It's all the pieces that are wrapped up behind the scenes as well. Are we committed as a community to give our best at every single moment, to make sure there is no noise in the background? There's no, well, what about this or what about that? We're all striving and pushing in the same direction. And I think setting that standard at the beginning of a season or beginning of a school year really sets the tone for everybody, so they know what to expect. What do I expect? Am I walking into a season where we all come together and we do the best we can, and that's okay, and that's it. That's great. Fantastic. At least I know. Or is everybody kind of pushing and working in the same direction? Like, what does that look like? And I think that's a conversation for individual schools as well.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. You mentioned the floods, and I know a school that we deal with a lot where I'm from, and they don't have lines on their soccer field yet. It's October, and they haven't got them put down. So it shows the commitment level of various parts of that school, right?
Right.
But I think in the book, I share a resource. It's not mine, but it's a commitment continuum, and it's a scale, and you can use that to see where people are, all different types of people or organizations, and where they fall and how committed they are. We can have people in our communities that are just accepting of the program, but they're not really committed to it, right? So they're not a hindrance, but they're also not a help. And I think that tool is a good gauge for anybody.
No, absolutely. We're just, like I said, mentioned, we just come out of IASIS, our international league, and I would say our whole community, I have no doubt in saying that our whole community pushed and, essentially were committed to providing the best possible experience they could for every single team and every single athlete that was there. And that's everything from, visiting parents to the B&G, to the security, to the timing staff, to everybody that we, had involved in those events. Were all committed to doing the best they possibly could to make sure that everything played off the way it should have.
Fantastic. Wow, that's great. Great to hear. Well, let's jump into a subsection then. We're talking about these groups, but one of the subsections in this chapter is focus on teachers, but not teacher coaches, the other teachers in your school. And Alia Numich submitted to this one, and she said that teachers need to understand the benefits of athletics and activities in students' lives and how much their involvement is important for the students. And the teachers that coach, the coaches, the people involved in the program, they know that. They know how important it is. But sometimes those other teachers in our school that maybe don't have an athletics background, don't coach, haven't played sports, they don't really understand that. So that's what that subsection focuses on. And I want to ask you, Chris, about your school in Bangkok. You talked about the support of all the people involved at that event. But what about those non-teacher coaches at your school? Think they support the athletic program?
Yeah, I can confidently say, absolutely. I can't think of a subgroup kind of at ISB that is not committed to providing the best that they possibly can, whether that's in athletics, whether that's arts, service, it crosses all of those. I suppose certainly there are some teacher coaches that have the benefit of, understanding the social and emotional piece of working with kids. That's an innate kind of aspect of being a teacher. But I would say that, as a community, we're all committed to better understanding how to make that better for everybody, because, teacher coaches have a lot of things going on, right, Nick? They have all their classes, they have their planning, they have everything else. They need support around them. And I would say, our non-teaching coaches in ISB are super committed to what's going on and absolutely want the best that they can provide for everybody.
Well, yeah, that's great to hear. I think they are really crucial in getting people involved in the program. The kids that come to our schools that are athletic, they like athletics. Parents have played. Well, they're fine. They're going to come and they're going to participate. But we have so many students that just don't go out and join a team that would really benefit from it, right? And I think those non-teacher coaches are really valuable in encouraging those other kids to also show value in the program, right? You don't have to be super sporty. There's a place, go participate, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like, related is our arts and our service and our athletics programs. We support each other and we do what we can to make sure kids can move between those programs, or, don't get them wedged in the middle of, oh, you've got to choose between, X and Y. No, that's not the purpose of what we're trying to achieve here. And I think that goes across the entire staff, whether that's teaching or non-teaching. It makes no difference. And I think that's one of the beauties of ISB is everybody wants every single student and staff to make sure that they feel like they're attached to a program and they feel like they're at home and they're supported in whatever passion that they choose to be a part of.
Right. That's a great point. We're not competing, and things shouldn't be layered on top where the kids really have to choose. And that's the same with the teachers. They shouldn't feel like, hey, don't go play on the soccer team because you need to focus on your, IB classes, right? It's a give or take, right? There's time for everything. They shouldn't overlap and shouldn't compete. And that's a great message.
Yeah, no. And it's not easy either, right, Nick? Yeah. Like it's a lot of conversations and sometimes we get it wrong and it's a little bit messy, but I think the feel from the community is that everyone wants the best. So
yeah. Perfect. All right. Well, let's just switch off the teachers and the people in the school to another important subsection, the parents. Parents are obviously crucial, to the kids that we have. And my favorite saying, and I say it a lot to my coaches or people, and it's in the book, is we have to align the sails if we want the ship to go in the direction we want it to go, right? And that's the top down, directors, ADs, coaches, athletes, and of course the parents, right? Juan submitted to this section, and his saying is the triangle of success, with the students on the tops of the parents and the coaches. And but whatever way you say it, parents are important. Chris, and I want to ask you what you think. How important are the parents to an athletic program?
I think they're pivotal, Nick. I think we have to find a way to make sure that we have parents involved, and that whether that's being a team parent or working in the booster club or anywhere they are, we need the parents and we need their support and we need their understanding. I wouldn't stop at just the parents. I know we're going to focus a lot on parents, but I would probably say to Juan's triangle, I probably would liken it more to a pyramid. With coaches and parents and buildings and grounds and the cleaning crew and administration, security, catering, all of those groups are kind of a bunch of different triangles where we're all trying to do the same thing, just as we spoke earlier. I think that parents play kind of that critical role in helping us, better understand where the students are at, how they're feeling. Are they feeling supported by their coaches? Are they not getting what they need? It's easy to make selections, but often the child will go home and say, well, I'm not feeling like the coach saw me at tryouts. I'm on the B team. I feel like I should be on the A team, but we need parents to work with us to help us, guide those students in the right direction so they can get their best out of them at every time. I couldn't live without the parents. I mean, just again, looking at the past weekend with IASIS, they solve a lot of problems. They help. They have connections. They do a lot of things to make sure that our programs run smoothly. I mean, just look at the housing that we just went through for 180 kids in first time back, right? So we definitely need the parents.
Yeah. I think the switch of coaches and A's thinking, the parents this, or to really see them as an ally, right, and not as an enemy. Of course, the people that want to complain are going to complain, and sometimes those are the loudest voices, which is why I think it's even more important to get them on board early, right? Really communicate well with them, let them know what's going on, how they can help if they have time, right? You mentioned the Booster Club housing. I'm surprised that you guys are housing. That's great.
Yeah,
so to have
got them in. It's good. Got it all done.
Wow.
I think also, Nick, just jumping on that again, I think parents, I'm a parent, you're a parent, right? We also want to know, what's going on? Like, what's our guiding principles? What's our guiding documents? What does the philosophy looks like? What's the expectations? Something that they can follow as a parent to best understand how to guide their kids. I suppose I would, how do I explain it? I would explain it in athletic terms, a bit like, we all prepare these international tournaments, right? They're upcoming. We know what's going to happen. And we sit down and we spend weeks and months preparing the flights and the busing and the schedules and the housing. And we make sure that all that information flows from to the students or the coaches and the admin and the parents and security, everything, all that happens before the trip. So they know exactly where they're going and what they're doing and what the expectation is. They don't just kind of roll up at the airport and just wait for a flight, right? They already know what's going on. And I suppose for me, that's a little bit same with our parents and our community. They have to know what to expect, where we're going and what we're doing, and how that's going to look for either the year or the season. And I suppose that's how we're trying to align kind of everything that we do around, it's that front loading principle. It's that no surprises. And that takes a lot of work, right? Because you've got to get all your coaches and all those people aligned and pushed in the right direction. But I think, again, coming back to the first question or the topic, that is commitment, right? That's commitment for our communities on what that looks like for our athletic programs in our schools.
Yeah, they really are almost all related, right? In the levels of all the groups in the subsection or that are in a school community, right? And when everybody's at the same level of commitment and doing all the things and has the right reasoning behind it, well, that's how a school can raise its game.
Right. Yeah. And I think we all strive for that, and we're all trying to work out how best to do it.
Right.
And it's great resources like, the Global Playbook and other ones that we have, available to us in conversations or Global Take or whatever that source may be, just to try and better understand how other people are trying to do it, and then adapt what they're doing to try and fit our own kind of program. There's no right or wrong way. There's no, you do it this way. There's no recipe. It's kind of feeling out your community and the culture and, taking a few risks and getting some feedback that's sometimes difficult, and then readjusting and going again.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. Chris, some of another subsection in the book is about athletic directors, right? And how committed they are. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I want to just give you a shout out and acknowledgement of how committed you are to the program at your school now, but all the other ones you've been at, especially with the work with the NIAAA. You're a big reason that I'm involved in the NIAAA, in the courses and the conferences. But also now in your new home in Bangkok, you're a big part of the upcoming EarCoast conference, right? And have something for ADs there.
Yeah, I got a little bit lucky there, Nick. I think Steve Dolman, who many know in this region, he in the past years he's been organizing it, and he's done again this year. And we just connected with Dr. Ed Green from EarCoast and just kind of asked if we could get some resources and finances to try and help athletic administrators get back on track, because we've had a couple of years off too, right? And it's easy to kind of forget, but we were looking for kind of how to come back and some energy around that. And we're lucky enough, a guy and I know, Nathan Whitaker, is coming out, and he's going to work with our kind of athletics group at the EarCoast conference, which is 26th to the 30th of October, which is going to be amazing right here in Bangkok. Just kind of, and I'm also I want to meet the community around here too, right? I haven't had an opportunity to meet anybody. I have had an opportunity to meet Justin Tevis from Singapore. He came over for the IASIS, and then Mark Pekin from Manila was over a couple of weeks ago to play some golf. But other than that, I haven't met a lot of people from this region. So EarCoast is going to be a great opportunity for us all to kind of come back and learn and reconnect and meet each other and learn some great guiding principles from Nathan.
Great. Well, that'll be great. I'm sure anyone close by needs to attend and look forward to that. And I hope to follow your lead with a CISA conference in March with a similar type of program. So as you said, getting back to seeing each other in person, getting back to all the things we used to do.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking forward to Nashville and NIAAA just to catch up with yourself and Matt and Todd and all those those people that kind of come from international, and just talk about what does your last 12 months look like, but in particular what's it been like for you from August through October? Because it was like I think I said to my parent community long ago, I felt like I've been shot out of a cannon holding a rocket. That's what it felt like.
Yeah. There you go. We're moving fast.
That's good. Right.
Well, we're moving fast. We mentioned a lot of the sections, subsections in the book, and there were other contributors to the book. So I want to put them up right here and show them off and thank them for their contributions to the book. Some of the other sections are board and admin, coaches, students, parents, and outliers. So thanks to all you people around the world that also contributed to this second chapter of the book on commitment. There's a couple more coming. So I hope anyone out there enjoyed this conversation with Chris, got to know him a little bit more, his ideas for his great program in Bangkok, and we'll look forward for part 3 of this 6-part series coming soon. So in the meantime, if you want to check out the book itself, there's my website there. Also the publisher, of course, SchoolRubric, which you're watching this on right now. And you can reach out to me directly on Twitter. My contacts are all over the place. Love to hear from you. Good or bad things about the book, what we missed, what we should have had in our commitment section, or any other great things. So thanks for watching. And Chris, especially, thank you for taking part of your holiday away to join me today.
No, anytime, Nick. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing for our community of athletic administrators kind of around the world. And anyone who doesn't want to get involved in that, maybe, I don't know. But
you need to read the book.
There
you go. Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Nick.
Next time. Thanks for watching and learning with us at SchoolRubric with educators from around the globe. For more access to articles, magazines, podcasts, live episodes, our international school directory, courses, and more, visit us at schoolrubric.org. Thank you.